What happens when you comb your hair in front of a mirror at midnight? What do you have to do to enter the scariest haunted house in the world? Have you heard the tale of the man with two faces? Don't worry. It's not a ghost whispering behind you. It's another terrifying episode of You Don't Know Horror. Monsters can be very crafty. Legend has it that if you hear a baby crying in the woods, you shouldn't go looking for it because it could be a Tianak. Once you find the helpless baby and pick it up, it will turn into a monster and kill you. Some who study ghostly activity say that the ghosts may actually exist in a state of confusion, where they don't know what happened to them, why they are here, or why you can't see or hear them. That would explain their behavior. There is a Taiwanese superstition that says you shouldn't comb your hair in front of a mirror after midnight because you might reveal the presence of a ghost. Speaking of mirrors, after 10 minutes of watching yourself in a mirror in a dimly lit room, your brain might get bored and distort your reflection, causing imaginary monsters such as the infamous Bloody Mary. Perhaps the creepiest and most haunted forest in the world is located in Transylvania, Romania. It's called Hoia Baciu and is named after a shepherd who went missing there with his flock of 200 sheep. People entering the forest claim to be afflicted by strange symptoms like nausea, anxiety, or the feeling of being watched. Of the many tales told about this forest, one of its strangest is that of a 5-year-old girl who entered the forest and disappeared, only to re-emerge years later completely unchanged and wearing the same clothes. In the 1800s, a man was accused of murdering his wife because, as the story goes, her ghost visited her mother and told her about it. They allowed her mother to testify in court with the hopes of showing the jury she was crazy. But she was so convincing that they found the man guilty, even without any other evidence. Mackay Manor, perhaps the world's scariest haunted house experience, is so horrifying that all guests are required to sign a waiver and undergo a full mental and physical evaluation before entering. No one has ever completed it in its entirety. Not even Marines, adrenaline junkies, or Satanists have made it through. The Nashville, Tennessee, and Huntsville, Alabama locations have a waiting list of over 24,000 people. Are you brave enough to enter? Wes Craven's 1977 film The Hills Have Eyes was actually based on the true story of the Bean family in 18th century Scotland. For 25 years, they would ambush, kill, and eat travelers. They were eventually caught when a young man they tried to attack was a better swordsman. After they fled, soldiers tracked them down and took them to Edinburgh, where they were immediately sentenced to death. There is a tale of a man named Edward Mordrake who was born in the 19th century with an extra face on the back of his head. It's said that this face couldn't eat, but that it did laugh or cry. He begged doctors to have his demon head removed because it would whisper horrible things to him at night, but no doctor would attempt it. He is said to have committed suicide at the age of 23.
In the dawn